What's going on, everyone? So this offseason, there is this argument and conversation of like depth versus star. And the Lakers, I fully believe, even though there's reports that the Lakers are kind of leaning towards depth, if there is a star available that is up for grabs that they can get, they'll get him, right? Like if they can realistically get Trae, which I do think is believable, they'll probably get Trae Young. Same thing with like a Dejounte Murray, whomever, right? They can get that guy, they're going to get that guy. Now, it's very possible that guy doesn't end up being available. Or, maybe somebody else. Maybe, the Atlanta Hawks end up trading Dejounte Murray before Trae Young. And then they decide, okay, well, we traded Dejounte, so we're going to keep Trae. And, Donovan Mitchell opts back in, and it's like, okay, well, now what? Right? Like, do you really want to sell the farm for Darius Garland? Okay, maybe, but like, what does that cost, right? So it's just like, it's very possible that the Lakers could just be forced into upgrading into depth. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But to me, this is something I've thought about a lot, and I've talked about this quite a bit recently, is that I think that you have to lean towards the third star. And the more that I break it down, the more that I discuss it, the more that I think about it, the more I come to the realization of like, yeah, the third star route, I think, is the best approach for the Lakers. And particularly because LeBron James, he can't you can't rely on LeBron to the level in which you once could, right? Like, we won a championship with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. People are like, dude, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, a bunch of quality role players, and you can win a chip. But I don't know if that's the case anymore, right? Now, there are a couple things both ways to that. One, right, like, you can make an argument that, hey, if the role guys stepped up more, Lakers beat Denver, and they might be in the NBA Finals right now, right? Which, yes, is true. But we saw even in that Denver series, LeBron looked gassed at times, looked like worn down, couldn't close down. I mean, all those games were tight. Like, if LeBron still had it in him to be able to do that, like, look, if we had even the 2020 LeBron, we sweep Denver. We do. All those games were that close. LeBron closes those games out. But, I mean, there were times where he didn't even try. He's passing the ball up and stuff like that, which, I mean, he's always done to an extent. But, like, he knew, okay, I need to close this out. He'd go do it, right? And especially if they lost a game or two or something, I believe you would have saw a more aggressive LeBron. So LeBron, even himself, right? Because a lot of people point to LeBron and JJ Redick talking about how, like, the model is 2 stars and then a bunch of role players, right? You need those blue chip role players. We talked about how, look at Dallas, look at Minnie, look at all these things. Like, they all have like the 2 stars and then a bunch of just blue chip, MVP, I believe was the word he used, role players, right? For every team outside of the Lakers, yes, that's true, because none of those other teams have a 40-year-old star, right? All those teams have a star in their 20s, right? Mid-20s, early 20s. But when you look at the Lakers, like, you have a 40-year-old star. And look, LeBron is still incredible. And I know people are, oh, you need to get rid of LeBron. No. Like, we're not better without LeBron. LeBron's still a top 10, 12 player in the league. He just doesn't have that, like, Superman mode anymore. He can do it on occasion, but to ask him to do it game in and game out over the course of a season, and then on top of that, do it in the playoffs, you just need another closer. And you look at Dallas. Dallas has 2 of the top closers in the league. And guess what? They're in the NBA Finals. And if all of those games against Boston are close, Boston probably loses that series. Because I trust Kyrie and Luka to close those games out. So to me, again, the Lakers, they need that closer. And I know LeBron said, like, hey, you need these 2 role players. But here's the other thing that LeBron said in a previous podcast. He said himself, he doesn't have it anymore. Can't do it anymore, right? Like, he can't put it together for a full game or a full series or a full season on both sides of the basketball. It's why he plays the 4. It's why he kind of plays that free safety role, right? It's why Rich Paul told the Lakers, don't worry about building around LeBron, build around Anthony Davis. It's why the Lakers want to go get another star, because LeBron and everybody around LeBron and the organization, everybody knows LeBron can't, he's not 27-year-old LeBron anymore. He can't carry the workload like he once could. Now, of course, the Lakers have Anthony Davis. And look, it's very possible that with a new coach, Anthony Davis is more of a factor down the stretch in games, which was incredibly frustrating with Darvin Ham. Incredibly frustrating. Because it's like, you see Darvin Ham even in interviews is like, well, his dummy coach. But it's like, but you didn't change it. I don't care. I don't care that you go to the podium and you say, oh, well, I realize. Well, obviously you don't, because you still get away from it. And look, it's not all on Darvin Ham, because it's also on our ball handlers, right? It's on LeBron. It's on D'Lo. It's on Reeves. It's on whoever has the basketball. Because Anthony Davis isn't the guard. He's the big fella, which means he needs to be set up. So it's on the coach to call guys out and get that resolved. It's also on the players and the people that have the ball in their hands to get the ball to Anthony Davis. And it's also on Anthony Davis to establish position and be demanding of said basketball. Right? So there's blame all around, but hopefully with a coach, JJ Redick, hopefully he goes, hey, we need to get Anthony Davis the ball down the stretch in these games. I mean, even in 2020, right? Anthony Davis is out there closing games for us, hitting big shots, hitting game winners. We need to get back to that. Because again, LeBron just doesn't have that anymore. And so to me, the reason I lean towards that other star is obviously for the long-term potential, right? You have somebody post the LeBron area. It also raises your ceiling more, makes you better now. And look, so many people are talking about depth. Look at all the teams that have made it in advance far into the playoffs. All these teams are running like 6 guys, and they're not even happy about the 6th guy. Like, I think they're running, even Dallas is running like 7 guys. Minnesota was running like 6, 7 guys. Tim Hardaway Jr. was Dallas's second best player last season. He was in the running for 6th man of the year at points this season, and he's not even in the playoff rotation. Like, the teams that are advancing, they just have basically like 6 to 7 really good guys that all understand the role, that are all being really good. And if the Lakers go get that other star, you're going to go get a guy that can help alleviate the burden for LeBron, alleviate the burden for Anthony Davis. You're going to go get a guy that can help you close down the stretch, that can hit big shots in big moments, which would make it easier for Anthony Davis to help close down the stretch. It would make it easier for LeBron to close down the stretch, because he's not it's like you're the sole guy. That's it. If you can't do it, then we lose. Right? So to me, it's like, and I understand the depth argument. And like I said, the Lakers may end up getting forced into the depth route. They might not have a choice here. Right? But to me, it's like, okay, if you can get an upgrade, it's why I lean towards like a Dejounte Murray, because you don't have to sell the farm, and then you could still go make other moves. You still go do other things. So, like in a perfect world, you get like a Dejounte Murray, Alex Caruso, you have Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, go sign a Valanciunas, bring in like a Kevin Porter Jr. or whatever, right? Like, and let's go. You still have Christian Wood, Taurean Prince probably opts in, Spencer Dinwiddie probably opts in, right? Like you're 10 guys deep at that point. You have your third guy, your clear-cut third guy that can hit big shots, not afraid of the moment. I mean, Dejounte Murray had like a 5-game stretch or whatever when Trae got hurt, where he hit like a game winner in like 4 out of those 5 games, right? Like, so again, to me, it's like you need, luckily, building around Anthony Davis, a lot of the same things you need for AD, you need for LeBron. So that's good. I don't hate the idea of upgrading the potential roster, but I do believe if you can go get that bona fide star, you get him, right? Because any of those, like Trae, I do have my concerns, not his game necessarily. I know he can be a little inefficient at times and whatnot, but I'll have to do a dedicated video breaking down into the pros and cons in particular. But my most concern is, because Trae is an unbelievable talent, he would make Anthony Davis 10 times better and 10 times easier, because Anthony Davis wouldn't have to work as hard, right? I mean, look at what he's able to do for like guys like Clint Capella and stuff like that. Look at like what Luka's able to do with like Lively and stuff. Like, man, imagine having Anthony Davis to throw the ball down to, right? It'd make things so easy for Anthony Davis, made things so easy for Trae. But my concern is, like, how does he fit alongside LeBron James, right? Being so high usage, so on ball. But to me, it's like, if you can get that, like, that gives you a guy that can close down the stretch. I'm not worried about the depth. Right? Like, let's say you get Trae. Say, best case scenario, let's say D'Lo opts in, right? You go D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, Jalen Hood-Schifino, right? Whatever, right? Get that out. Like, you'd still have Trae, you'd have Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. You'd have probably Spencer Dinwiddie, Christian Wood. You could still go get it like a Valanciunas or whoever, right? Let's say best case Valanciunas. Yeah, you still probably keep Taurean Prince, right? You still have like Maxwell Lewis, right? You still, Gabe Vincent, right? You'd still have Gabe Vincent. You'd be fine. You're fine. You have nice balanced offense, defense, right? Is it the most perfect in-depth roster? No, but you have enough depth to where you have your 7-8 guys for the playoffs. You can go deep during the regular season. LeBron and AD could take nights off, you could still win. Trae could take nights off, you still win. My big concern is just the fit. Right? And I know some people throw out like, well, you talk about, the big three with Phoenix. Phoenix, and even people throw out like the Russell Westbrook thing, which you're comparing peas to rocket ships. It's not even in the same category, right? Like, it's just Russell Westbrook is not Trae Young, okay, by any stretch. But even like the Suns' big three, it's more the pieces that don't fit. Look, big threes can still have success. Big threes, you look at the big threes that have won championships throughout history, they all, within the big three, all had and played different positions and had different skill sets and had different ways of being able to approach the game, right? But when you have three guys that are essentially the same player and you don't have proper balance, it's just, that's when things become a problem. But if you were to get a Trae, you got guys that play different positions. You got guys that, yes, they have some similarities, but they also play very different games. I believe it can work. So the biggest problem is, again, like I said, like LeBron he can't be the guy that you lean on anymore. And Anthony Davis, again, he's a big fella, right? So he needs proper setup. And you look at all the teams that advanced far, it's not teams with centers that are closing out games. It's not teams with the big men that are closing out games. Even Denver, it was Jamal Murray that was hitting the big shots closing out games. Right? I'm not saying Jokic never did it, but it was the guards, the guard play. So to me, it's like, if you can get that, you go get it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Somewhere in between. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.